Good. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Strokers in Palm Harbor for continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Got the semifinal match here between Henry Brodt of Laguna Beach, California, and Mike Leigh of Ontario. And the name that you're not seeing there, Richard, is that of Brian Parks, who was eliminated in the last round by Henry Brodt in a strong 7-5 match. Brian was
Yes,
down
it was.
6-2 at one point, came back and got close, but he could not quite overcome Henry's lead. So Brian will exit. I believe that puts him in 4th place. Great run for him. Never easy to come into this event with the target on your back of being the former champ. And so congratulations to him. And so now we've got Mike and Henry. They're going to duke it out for the chance to square off against Abe Shade in the final round.
Looking forward to seeing these next 2 matches.
This match will be, again, a race to 7. We'll see 5 games of 8 ball, potentially 9 games. I'm sorry, 8 games of 9 ball. It's a lot of 8s and 9s in there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike will have the break here. This is an interesting matchup here, Richard. Mike Leigh and Henry Brodt, a couple of different styles, you might say.
Perfect break there. And yeah, I see issues right out of the gate here, though. He doesn't have a good strike to shoot at. He's forced to shoot stripes because he made one and no solid, I think. Yeah. So
Be interesting to see how experience might pay off here for Mr. Brodt. Obviously,
yeah, he's been here a
pretty
few
adept
times.
at being in this particular event, being in it late rounds, lots of pressure.
Right.
On the streaming table. He is the old veteran, if you will.
Yeah.
71 years young.
And looks about 51 years young.
Yeah, it's that California living he's doing these days. Henry now in Laguna Beach, California.
I think his only shot is to bank this back to where his chin is.
And this is the 34-year-old Mike Leigh.
That was really the only thing the table presented to him.
Henry is a 3-time champion of this event. It's always interesting, too, Richard, because we hear the argument about Brian Parks, and, you know, he shouldn't be allowed. He's won 5 times. I've never heard anyone say that about Henry Brodt, yet he's won 3 times.
Yeah.
I've never heard that topic come up one time, so just kind of an interesting dynamic.
And he's on his way to win 4 times.
It could be.
Potentially
could be. He's
here.
2 wins away from it. That's right. About that. We'll take care of it.
I don't recall who the player was earlier that I mentioned had his hand forward a little bit. Was that Mike? I was thinking it was his opponent, but anyway, in contrast, you'll see that Henry Brodt is textbook perfect. And it's not to say that both won't work just fine, but
Right.
you know, it's just one taught way and one that, you know, other people just come to play with. But I noticed that Henry's is just, he wanted to miss that ball right there, I think. Instead of hitting it, if he'd have missed that and come out a little bit off the rail, he'd have had easy shot, one in the corner. He's still okay because he should be able to easily make this 5 in the corner, but then My, getting good shape from here is a chore. Yeah. Just hit it a little thin.
Again, if you're just joining us, this is semifinal round coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Our coverage brought to you by our friends at pooldog.com. I thank our other sponsors, Aramith Billiard Balls, Action Cues, and our friends at Valley Dynamo, the official pool table of the APA. Appreciate all their support, not just with this event, but all year round.
And Pool Dog is the pool player's best friend. I just found that out.
Yeah, our last couple events, I actually brought Frank with me. We had him in the commentary booth, but with our modified setup here, not quite as much room for our buddy to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Winner of this event will move on to compete in a pro event next year. In this particular division, most likely that will mean the U.S. Open, produced by Matchroom Sports. They win airfare and hotel and entry into that event. Of course, they get to come back and defend their title next year.
Is that something that APA selects, or do they have a
We try to
menu
give them
pick
some
from?
options.
Okay.
So like in the women's division, we'll give them an option of a WPBA event, U.S. Open, you know, if they have a preference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that in particular they want to play in, we'll try to accommodate as best we can. But I think the more significant thing to most of these players is the title, as well as, you know, being included on that Trophy of Champions, which is kind of there forever. So it's all about kind of cementing a legacy, and that's really what, if you were to ask most of these players, that I think that's the response you would get. But the other stuff is nice too, right?
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
Nice shot, as long as he doesn't get jacked up over that 8 ball. And right toward the tail end of that shot, it started turning toward the 8. I was a little worried for him. Well executed shot to hold that on this side of the 8, because if he hadn't shot it just like that, it would have run away a little bit off toward the center of the table and made the shot much tougher. But he should make this just fine. Good shooting. Puts Mike up 1.
Again, this is a race to 7. This will be the second of 5 games of 8 ball that we'll see.
Look at the guys in the background talking. They're drawing out shots on the pool table, talking about what just happened. Or maybe talking about something that happened 20 years ago. But it's great to see pool players here talking about pool, discussing the everything. I love it. So many knowledgeable players in this event.
Yeah, this is the semifinal round, not the final round. The winner of this match will move to the final round to play Abe Shade.
Yeah, Abe Shade has been playing a shade better than the rest of the players through this event so far. And if he keeps that up, he'll bring that tallest trophy home with him.
Yep. A lot of folks at this point picking him to win this event. So at least those that are here at Strokers, we'll see. Still a long way to go.
It will be a race to 7 against whoever wins this match, right? 11.
Race
Did I
to
say
11,
7?
yeah.
I was looking at the big 7 at
That
the bottom
final
of the
round,
screen.
yeah, that final round will be
race to 11.
single elimination, but it's the extended race to 11. Yep. Seen some really outstanding play today. Also some outstanding sportsmanship. We were watching Henry and Brian's match as that wrapped up, and you know those guys know each other well, embraced, and it's just really nice.
It is
great sportsmanship here at this year's event.
And that's one of the reasons I think a lot of the players keep coming back is for the camaraderie. I love coming here for that reason.
Right.
If nothing else, I do love the high-level competition, but
Truly a
the
special
camaraderie is
event that
awesome.
this U.S. Amateur Championship's grown into over the last quarter century. I know some folks out there don't get it, and they say, "Well, there's no prize money," and then, it's
Well, it's not
again,
for
there's
them. If that's
yeah,
what they need, it's not for
exactly,
them, and that's
exactly.
fine.
There are plenty of pool tournaments out there. We in APA runs some of them, right? We give
Yeah,
away a couple $1 million a year,
ton of
so
money.
we have those as well. But this is about something a little different than that. So.
He'll probably look at the pink ball up there to see if it plays off the stripe into the corner, because it may be an easy ball to make in that corner over there, because I think everything else is maybe tough unless he can see that 6 ball in the side. I'm not sure that's available. If it is, I'm sure he'll take it. And I wouldn't be too thrilled with taking the 4 in the corner, the pink ball, but off of the stripe. But if I had to, that I would go for it. Looks like he has a 6 available to him, or is that the 3 he's shooting at? We'll see. Whoa, he was trying for the 7 ball in the side, and that pesky 14 ball got in the way, looks like. So ball in hand for Henry Brodt. And even with this many balls left on the table, when a player of Henry Brodt's caliber gets to the table, we expect him to either run out or at least maintain control of the table by getting to a certain point and playing a nice lockdown safety. But he looked over the table and made a plan, and now he's executing it. Yep. See the ball next to the 4. He wanted to take care of it early because there's only the one hole that it goes into, and it's the one he's looking at over there. He's got another issue with the green stripe, the 14 ball. It looks like it only goes in one corner, the bottom left, from the way we're looking at the screen right now.
We'll make sure we acknowledge all of our veterans out there. Today, Veterans Day, and
thank you for serving.
Appreciate their service. Absolutely. A lot of guys in this event, former veterans, so appreciate being able to spend the weekend with them and all of our veterans out there. So thank you.
He surprised the heck out of me shooting that shot right there. That's one where I'd like to say, go up to him, Henry, what were you doing there? I'm sure he had something great in mind, but I just thought it was time for him to take the ball next to the 4 ball, just put it in the corner. But I know he had a rough run out from there. Looked to me like he could have followed it up to the side rail over there, and I mean, there looked like a good pattern for him to run out from there, but maybe not.
Some folks asking about their skill levels. Offhand, I don't know. I don't know that Henry plays APA.
Yeah.
Oh, he plays Masters, but both these guys are top level.
Yeah, 7 and 9.
7 and
no
9.
doubt.
Yeah.
But it's sort of irrelevant,
right,
other than
just knowledge. Yeah.
People wondering how good are they?
Yeah.
Well, they're as good as a 7 and a 9.
They're good
7
enough,
and 8 ball, 9
they're
and
good
9
enough
ball.
to have made it to the semifinals of this event full of 7s and 9s.
Yes.
So.
But you could be a 2 and play in this event, event, right?
You could. I don't think you'd be here at this point, but you could be a 2 and enter.
Right.
Non-handicapped event, one of the few events produced by the American Pool Players Association that is not handicapped. Very similar to our Masters format that I know a lot of the higher skilled players enjoy competing in. If you've never checked that out, you should go to our website, poolplayers.com, and find out a little bit more information. A lot of our leagues around the country offer Masters play. Basically the USAM format as a team format.
Remember earlier we had the hole available for that See, now he had to create something because if the hole that was available to that strike ball was now blocked by the 2. So another reason, making it earlier, I thought would be good. But yeah, he should be able to. I think he can float this into position to make the 14 in the bottom left corner as we look at it now. Let's see if he does that to the side rail. Yep, right there where it needs to be. Beautiful control. Now he can play the green stripe into the corner. I do not like hitting it at that speed. Whew. But he's got such a true stroke that it works better for him probably than it would for me. Nice little run out with his key ball, the 13 ball. He can make that into the corner and stop nicely for the 8 in the side after the shot.
Henry is one of the more patient and deliberate players you will see.
If you look at his backhand, it's a perfect textbook. He did kind of drop that elbow at the end there, but that might have been because he was reaching out some. But yeah, I think he studied from the Willie Moscone book that I checked out from the library back when I first started getting into pool. There wasn't all these videos on YouTube. YouTube wasn't around. The internet wasn't around when I started playing.
Just to update folks that are just now tuning in, Brian Parks was defeated in the round just prior to this by Henry Brodt. So if you're tuning in and wondering where he is, he has been eliminated. He finishes in 4th place in this year's event. Good run for Brian. We mentioned it's never easy to come into this event as the defending champion, more so when you've won it several times.
Yeah.
You're getting everybody's best game. And
big target on his back.
so, and I know, that this debate that he sees online or that we see online about whether he's a pro, it weighs on Brian. I mean, I talked to Brian and I talked to Brian's
I haven't
wife.
Talked to him about it.
And even their kids, he tells me, hey, my family's watching me on the stream and they're seeing people talk about, a lot of times I think
that's terrible.
People out on the internet don't realize the impact you're having.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, if we thought Brian was a pro, he wouldn't be in this event.
Right.
I can assure you that. So I know it's tough for him. So to come in and still place that high, kind of knowing that, he's not oblivious to that discussion.
Right.
And so good for him. And, really appreciate one of the most outstanding sportsmen in this particular event. But he finishes in 4th place this year. So.
Yeah, that good sportsmanship was exhibited at the end of his previous match, his last match in this event.
Didn't make Henry shoot the 9. He just he conceded the 9 ball.
And then they shook each other hand,
gave
just
each other
really,
a hug. Yeah. Rick, you're right. Brian
awesome
is as
event.
class act as you will find in the sport of pool.
Only problem is he's left-handed. But other than that, great guy, great player. No, I have nothing against left-handed players, Robert Hall.
Of course, Robert in this year's event. How did Robert finish up? I didn't look.
I don't think he wants us to talk about it.
Sorry, Robert.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see him in Vegas again. And
definitely. I think he's there every time you are.
Kind of talked about this. Anybody that's made it to this level alone has already played pretty darn well to get here.
That's
so
for sure.
I don't think anybody that appeared here this weekend has anything to feel badly about, for sure.
Henry's got some work to do here. The way he plays, he can get out, but he's got to really work his way around. That was beautiful to get the 3 out there, but I'm not sure what's available for the 2 and 6. No, I don't know if no. It looks like he will have to pull the cue ball off of the rail and into the 6 to make the 2 open for the corner pocket, but then that pushes the 6 into the other to the 1 and strike ball. Hard to tell the color here.
Just kind of looking at Henry's path through the bracket here.
Yeah, so he ran into the 2 ball. I'm trying to. Nothing available here except the bank, looks like. What were you saying?
I was just
Jason?
kind of looking at the players Henry has quietly knocked off through the one-loss bracket here, including James Adams, Brian Parks, Kenny Brisbane.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
Most of us could complete our resume with just that, but he's.
Yeah, he has been just fighting his way back through this one-loss side of the bracket, and good for him. Again, 71 years old. You talk about endurance.
Yeah, I would love to walk away from a tournament saying that I went through all that. Wow.
Henry, very soft-spoken, but one of the nicest guys you'll meet in this event.
Yeah. That was really nice. I was wondering if that was available, but couldn't tell, couldn't get the correct angle to see. Would have been nice if he could have continued and bumped into the 6 maybe to get it into position where it would play. So he continues to have a rough run out. Looks like he will probably be forced to bank this 6 in and hold shape for the 2 in the corner. But it's definitely doable. He is such a solid player. Yeah, I was about to say he needs to make sure the cue ball doesn't get in the way. The way he was approaching it, the cue ball was going to move over into the way. All right. See no issues at all with this run out.
Robert was asking about who decides if a player should be a pro, and that's a good question, Robert, because it's not nearly as black and white as you might think. And the way that APA handles that is we basically look at it on a case-by-case basis. We look at what kind of events a player is playing in, how are they finishing, do they have a full-time occupation outside a pool, do they have sponsors? There's a number of different things that we look at in that equation, and there have been several players. I mean, Sky Woodward's an example of a guy that was playing in our leagues, and we had to say, hey, you're probably not amateur status, which at the time didn't make him very happy, but I've talked to him since then, and we kind of laugh about it now because it's like, yeah, I guess we called that one right after he's been on 4 Moscone Cup teams.
Oh, boy, did you.
So we do rule people ineligible. We just, and obviously Brian is one that we're not deaf to the folks that think it should be looked at, but the guy sells insurance. He plays in some pool tournaments, and he is not one that we deem a professional. Nobody that's in here in this event is someone that we've deemed a professional. So a little inside baseball for you.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though, because there's not an established pro tour. It's not an easy thing to
Yeah, you can't just say if you play on the pro tour regularly, you can't.
Well, and because let's be honest, anybody can enter pretty much any pro event by throwing down a $500 entry fee or $200 or however much it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of us that
it's not
that
like
do that.
it's not like professional baseball or one of these sports where there's a true line of what's what. So it's an interesting discussion for sure.
Yeah, I played in many tournaments with the professionals, but I am far from a professional. I just enjoy being in it with them.
Well, it's like if
I donate my money to.
It's like you said, if a lower skilled or a mid-level player wanted to come and play in this event just to kind of test where they're at.
Same thing.
It's the same kind of thing. Meanwhile, Mike Leigh is up 2-1 in this match. Mike from Ontario, Canada. What else do we know about Mike? We mentioned earlier his parents, Steve and Shirley, and his brother Nick tuning in, rooting him on. He's been here 3 times before, has never finished higher than 13th, so he has far exceeded that in this year's event. He will finish no worse than 3rd at this point. Member of the CPA up there in Canada. 34 years old. And he will have the break.
Well, Henry will take solids. Staring him in the face. It's a little bit difficult to move the cue ball much from this position, so looks like he might. Yep, he can now play the 7 or the 3. So he'll finish up, clean up on that end of the table, and then work his way to the 2-6, and then come back to the center of the table to make the 8 in the corner where the 1 is. It's come off the rail some. Yeah, did you see him wave his stick like that? That's what that man is. Get off that rail.
Seen a lot of great pool today and over the last couple of days here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, the U.S. Amateur Championship. Make sure we acknowledge our friends at pooldog.com for their support in helping us bring you all this great coverage for free. Henry Brodt here at the table.
I'm curious if he's going to play this forward off the 8 and make it go to the rail off the 8 for the. No, he's drawing it back. I'm a little afraid of this shot not turning out well for him. I know he wanted to clear up the other end of the table first before coming down here, but he was sort of forced to pick up these balls now and then go back and get the 7-8, looks like. He jerked a little bit on that one. That's a little unusual. He's usually super duper smooth.
Yep. Rattles the 2 ball in the corner there.
No issues from here. Yeah, I thought he might look around a little bit before taking the shot he was intending on shooting when he was intending on playing shape on. He may still shoot it, but he needs to survey the field first, the table.
Henry is a 3-time U.S. Amateur champion. Question was on the in the comments. I think he won in 98, 99, and 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you think he wants to be a 4-time champion?
I know he does, because I remember when he won the 3rd time, in his interview, he said, "Brian Parks, I'm coming for you," and that was when Brian had 4.
Sounds right.
So,
yeah.
you know, Henry is he may be 71 years old, but he's still a true competitor. I mean, he's got.
It's good shape into the side pocket. Now he may go 13 in the corner, but just according to what he feels like. But this plays much better. You know, from one ball to the next, playing this. Yeah, much better pattern, easier pattern. And that's what you need to do when you're thinking about what do I play is what naturally leads to the next shot, which leads to the next shot and the next shot. And sometimes all you have to do is play 6 stop shots in a row and you got her done. Soft shot here, just rolling it up just a little bit. And split the center of the pocket on this one. Nice. All right, Mike Leigh goes up another.
This will be the final game of the 8-ball set. I'll move to 9-ball after this. Good time to remind you folks that if you want to enter next year's U.S. Amateur Championship, you can go ahead and sign up today at usam.poolplayers.com. You'll be all set to compete in a preliminary round. Place high enough there, you advance here to the championship rounds. It all starts at usam.poolplayers.com. Make sure we thank the folks here at Strokers who've been taking such good care of us the last several days. Jose Del Rio and all of his staff here.
Wonderful staff here.
Accommodating all the players and keeping them fed and hydrated, happy. Really appreciate all their hard work. Mike Leigh with the break.
I don't know how they keep up with everything, but they do. Smack them. Very nice
there on the break, yeah.
Cue ball was a little wild there, but it sure paid off. Threatened a couple of pockets, side pockets there, but lucky for Mike, it stayed out, and he has got a great opening shot here.
Our championship match will be probably just a few minutes after the conclusion of this semifinal round. We'll give the winner here just a couple minutes to regroup. And then we'll bring them back out. I know Abe Shade is anxiously awaiting, or patiently.
Yeah.
Actually, probably anxiously. If I'm talking about Abe, it's anxiously, not patiently. Right?
Yeah. He's
I'm
animatedly
sure
waiting.
he's itching to play, I'm sure. And
yeah,
you know, we talked about that's one of the hard parts of winning that hot seat match is you do kind of got to wait it out now.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Be curious to know if he's out of here. All right,
And
buddy.
I don't think he's going to have to wait that long today. But I guess he's already been waiting about an hour now or so,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. How do you handle that? I mean, you were in that position. How did you handle it when you were? I mean, did you hit balls? Did you just
I did
did
hit.
you leave the
I,
location? I mean, what
no,
was
I
it?
stayed there, but I did hit some a couple of
Yeah,
tables down, and every now and then though, not constantly because I don't want to wear myself out. Didn't
right.
want to wear myself out. But I've been to tournaments where Efren Reyes is playing or Shane Van Boning, and they're there just hitting balls, hitting balls, hitting balls, and you
Yeah.
think, man, he's going to be dead by the end of the night. But no, they keep going and they play it, top level.
Anybody who debates whether pool is a sport or not has not been to one of these marathon tournaments that go, and go and go and
Yeah,
go and have to try to do that. I mean, most sports you compete a couple hours,
yeah,
that's it. And
yeah.
in these tournaments, you're hour after
You
hour
are,
and
especially a lot of the
day after
local
day.
tournaments. I quit playing a lot of the local tournaments because if I played well in it, then I ended up it's 6 or 7 in the morning that I'm getting out of there with first, second, or third place.
Right.
It's just a disincentive to play well. But this event is not like that because it's well structured.
Yeah, we try not to. I mean, and there is a lot of back-to-back play, but we try not to play people all night and just wear them down. It's going to make sure everybody's fresh come the next day, as much as possible at least.
Yeah,
Mike.
that was a tough shot for Mike there. He had to finesse that, and I think if he shot it exactly the same way with a little bit more speed, it would have gone in the hole and the cue ball would have come off the side rail right in line where he wanted to be. It was just, I just think he hit it a shade softer than he meant to. Blocking the stripe into the corner there with the 7 ball. And that may not be good enough though, because he can bank this ball back to where he's standing and then send the cue ball possibly to a place where he can make the remaining strike. I play a game a lot that requires that shot a lot, but Mike is not even doesn't. Maybe he is looking at that shot, but no, he's not. He is not looking at that shot. But and having both of those stripes together like that makes it a lot easier for Henry to play another safety on him, I think. Henry's looking at what does it take to make that one in the side. I don't think there's much of an issue there. But you see how he's planning ahead. You have to do that. It's not about just making a few balls. You've got to plan it all the way out. And then as, if it doesn't go the way you want as you're going along, then you have to replan. Yeah, it looks like he's wanting to get that one out of the way next. So 2 ball and follow it up just a little bit, and then he can make the one in the side, and he'll have the 4 in the same corner the 2 goes. He plays that shot very well. Um, hit him soft like that and true because he hits the cue ball very true where he's right where he's wanted to hit it.
Again, this is a semifinal match. The winner of this match moves on to face Abe Shade in the final round.
Hurricane Abe.
Hashtag Hurricane Abe.
Yep. Very nice. And this will float. When he pockets this, it'll float onto his next shot. Always trying to get angle for the next angle. He's really plotting it out now. Absolutely steel head through that shot. Too many people raise their head up while they're shooting, and then it may bring other things out of, out of kilter, out of where they need to be to have a good shot. But he's pretty much textbook all the way around. And if you want to see this, look at his elbow, look at his backhand. That's textbook stuff right there. Now there are several top-notch players who are not textbook, and Shane Van Boning's one of them. So you don't have to play by the book to play extremely well, but I think it does help in consistency if you're just not totally natural. He really wanted to come off that end rail more. Gonna have to do some extra stuff here. Yeah, he's not liking it. He might want to play safe here and just put the cue ball on the back of that 8. Really easy to do, so he could do it 100% of the time, so I would suggest doing that here. He's probably okay as long as he keeps the cue ball on this side of the table. He's okay. If he went any further to the left side, though, he'd be in trouble. He'd be leaving Mike a shot. But I still think if he'd have sent the cue ball off the 5 to the rail and then back up to the back of that 8 ball, Mike would be hitting multiple rails just to get to those stripes. Curious if Mike, no, that's off. I was thinking, hoping for Mike, sake that those balls were lined up a little bit different, where the is it the 12 ball would be lined up to where he could hit it and it go in this corner on the bottom right. But I don't see that, so he's got to figure out how to do a good safety. Maybe cutting this in the corner. Tough shot. Yeah, I think he was cutting it in. Oh, and he just about made it by having the cue ball go down there and help it in. But the good thing there is that he really left Henry with a tough shot here. He has that pocket where he's standing to pocket 5, but this is low percentage for even for a high-level player. So he opted to go for more of a safe, but I think he was trying to make it, but then sort of protecting there to leave the cue ball in sort of the worst place
Right.
worst place for his opponent in case he missed. And he did that, but he still left a bank shot, and where but Mike will be doing the same thing to him on here. So when he attempts this bank shot, he'll want to bring his cue ball back out into the middle a little bit, unless he's trying this cut. That's a toughie. He'll need to load it up with some right-hand spin. He's going for that banking. I thought he hit it perfect.
Yep.
Wow.
Just rattled around.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, he made it tough on Henry, but I suspect Henry will be able to make this. And a lot of people put right-hand English on this, but I don't think you need to do it. You just cut it in, hit the top, hit high on the cue ball, and let the cue ball go back and forth. And when it goes forth over there, back where the 5 is, then it'll be right in line to make that 8 in the corner. Just be really precise where you clip that 5 ball to make it. He's close enough to it where he can do that without having to scoop it in with right English. Yeah, he thought he was too, but it just missed it that time. But I bet you the majority of the time he shoots that very shot, it goes in. Does that 9 go in the side? Yes, it does. So he should have no trouble getting out from here. Just wants to make sure that he doesn't get behind the 8 ball. Oh, he's shooting that ball first. I wouldn't want to shoot that first. But shooting that first, he doesn't have to worry about getting behind the 8 ball. But he does have a tougher shot into the side pocket, looks like. Yes, very nice. I wouldn't have been that confident getting the cue ball right where he put it, bringing that, shooting the one in the corner first. It's kind of hard to control that shot when it's in the pocket like that. Very nice.
All right, Mike Lee's going to take a 4-1 lead, and as they switch to the 9-ball set, we're going to have a word from our friends at Pool Dog.
Tired of the same old when you're buying billiard supplies? Come shop with the big dogs at PoolDog.com. You want pool cues? We've got over 700. Balls, cases, accessories, no problem. Want help with your game? How does hundreds of free training articles sound? Want to shop offline? We'll mail you a free catalog. Hit us up online, PoolDog.com, or call 866-843-3294.
Mike's going to take a quick break. And while he does that, we'll remind you folks watching online that have not yet become APA members, you can do that today if you go to poolplayers.com/join. Lots of great benefits and things that you receive for being an APA member, one of which is being able to compete in a local APA league on a team, meet some new people, have some fun, obviously play some pool, potentially move on to one of our great events in Las Vegas or one of our other great events around the country. There's so many these days. You can do all that, and all starts at poolplayers.com/join. Also remind you, if you've not signed up for next year's U.S. Amateur Championship and are interested in doing so, you can go to usam.poolplayers.com. Get signed up to compete in one of the many preliminary rounds that are held around the country. The way that works is the top players in those preliminary rounds then advance here to the championship round. So that is the first step in that particular process. Again, I want to thank our friends at Pool Dog for helping us to bring you guys all this streaming over the last several days. Hope you guys have enjoyed it and will continue to enjoy it through the rest of this semifinal round and into the finals this evening, which are looming ever closer.
Yeah. Pool player's best friend, pooldog.com.
Mike Leigh will have the break. First game of the 9-ball set.
The ball he was trying to make fired right into the corner. Now he's got the 1-6 combination, needs to protect against the 6 going in, the 1 going in behind the 6, because I don't think he'll have an easy shot on the 2, so you got to make sure the 1 stays up.
If Mike is able to maintain this lead and win this match, he would square off against Abe Shade in the final. Those two met earlier today. Abe getting the better, obviously, of that matchup as he has already advanced to the final. Mike looking for a shot at redemption. Pockets the 2 in the corner.
I think he can just stop the cue ball right there when he makes the 3, because then he makes the 4 and he has in the other side and he has an angle. It looks like he might pop off the rail. I think he can. Yeah, he doesn't want to get straight in there. That's fine. I think anywhere from there all the way over to the side pocket would have been fine for pocketing that ball with it that being that close. And then the cue ball naturally moves down there to the next shot. He's saying, hold up, hold up. Going across his line there that he wanted to be on, so his speed was critical on that shot.
Whew. Just fell.
Yeah, that's why we don't like to hit it at that speed right there, because just the slightest bit of air.
Fired that one in
He
there for
fired
good
that
measure.
9-ball in there, buddy.
All right.
All right, that's going to put him at 5-1.
2 games away from the final in a rematch with Abe.
5-1 against Henry Brodt, who just beat the 5-time U.S. amateur champion.
Yeah, amongst a slew of others.
Yeah.
Kenny Brisbane earlier
Yeah,
today.
one-time champion.
James Adams, who's an outstanding player. So Henry's just slugging his way back to that 1-loss bracket. But this may be his toughest test at this point, trailing 5-1 here to Mike, who, with the exception of the loss to Abe, that's the only blemish on his.
And he came all the way down from Canada to do this too. He's serious. And he said a little bit ago, why go on vacation and put myself under all this stress? He knows he loves it. Now, he may not want to do this, but I see a nice little safety here where he kicks off the side rail close to the 1, maybe around the first diamond, and then into the 1-ball, and then just rest the cue ball against the rail there. And if he feels pretty confident with kicking like that, then that would land a really nice safety right off the bat. But he's probably going to push out. That's what most people would do from here. I would feel pretty confident with that kick, though. So that is what I believe. You know, I'd have to get over it and look, but it might have been a good shot.
Curious who the viewers tuning in would like to see in the finals. We know Abe Shade will be there. You want to see him in a rematch with Mike Leigh, or you want to see him against the old veteran Henry Brodt? Who do you want to see Abe play in the finals here? Thank you.
Should have done it at the very beginning, but it was still close.
Yeah, he can make this without cutting it, always giving it back to him. Whoa, boy, I would be shooting this. And I think Henry's going to be glad that he gave it back to him, because he can hit our left side of the one ball lightly, and it'll carry him off of the 5 as long as he avoids the double kiss on the 5, and it will go into the corner pocket. Yep, just like that. And so I would have loved him giving it back to me. I was really surprised he didn't take that shot. If all you had was attempting to cut, then yes, I would have given it back because you couldn't hold the cue ball down there for the 2. But since the 5 was sitting there next to it, it allowed you to hit it more fully where you could leave the cue ball down there for the 2. Floated up the table and played the 3 inside next, I believe. No, he's playing it in. Oh, okay, I thought a ball was blocking that. But that's much better because he was able to come off the end rail and down his line he needed to be in. Still got some work to get on the 4 ball, though, from here. See a good little draw stroke from Henry. Probably all the way back to where his stick is and then off the rail, we'll see. No, he had a little bit of angle that was not apparent to me. Looks like he's forced to, if he makes this 4 in the corner, he's just about forced to bump into the 5 ball. Maybe not. He might be able to miss it, looks like from here. Miss the 5, yes. Because you don't want to run into it unless you have to. See how much left English? It looks like right. It's on the right side of the ball, but from here, but it's left English. So he'll have to overcut this a little bit. Yeah, he overcut it just perfectly and carried it into the hole. His patterns are really good here. Good shot of his technique here with his elbow and arm, hand. Came up a little short there, maybe, unless he wants to. He's got it perfect into the corner. Maybe that's where he was playing. I tend to want to play the shot in the side because the corners scare me from that distance a little bit. But being that close to the 7, he just would almost never miss the shot. That's the way I like to hit it too. Go to the end rail and back up. Instead of trying to baby it and move it up to around where he's at, that would have been tough, risky.
Henry pockets that 9 ball. What's up, buddy? Good tournament for you. Brian Parks stopping by to say hello. You want to jump on here? No? Come on, man. You got all kinds of fans on here. Yeah, here. This is five-time champion Brian Parks going to jump on and talk to the fans back home. Here you go, buddy.
Brian Parks, who is that?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. You going to get in here and commentate with me after I've been dogging you for all this time?
I will. I will.
Okay.
Speaking of which, one of my
Yeah.
first matches ever, Richard
What?
Andrews.
First commentating. Let's move this up just a little bit where we can get it. There we go. All right. So now y'all can hear Brian.
About the guys in this match. You know these guys.
Oh, they're both great players. Obviously, Henry is Henry.
And this is live right here.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all think that if we could be 71 years old and play this good.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I know it.
So he just beat me, and he just plays good.
He's just rock solid, isn't he? Yeah.
You make one mistake, he's out. So
Anything about Mike?
Mike's a great guy. I've known him probably 7 years here, 8 years probably. But he's always grinding hard. Plays good.
Upbeat guy. Seems like he's got a
Oh.
great personality.
He's super nice. He's from Canada.
Kid looming in the finals, Abe Shade. What do you think of him?
Yeah, just I played him obviously, and
Right.
yeah, it was
He's an
he
excited
started
kid,
slow
right?
with me. He started slow.
He
but
does
then-
that almost every
yeah,
time.
but he caught a gear. Like
Yes,
now
he
it's like,
does.
all right, well,
Call it Hurricane Abe. That's what they
yeah.
call it.
No, he's a very fast player. Plays good. He's super nice. Him and his wife, or I don't know if that's his fiance or wife, but yeah, no, they're awesome. Uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah, you need to look at the live view over here, but yeah, he tried to play the 2 down to the corner and hook him behind the 7.
Yeah.
Didn't hit it hard enough, so it didn't get a rail.
Mike seems to have controlled the set from the beginning, but when I was playing Henry was the opposite. He was controlling the whole set. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And you gotta admire how
Yeah.
Henry stays in it. You know, what
Yeah.
was it? He won. He's
I
won
got to
3.
watch
He's
some
won
of the
3.
Match, it was good.
He's won 3 APA championships. So
I know it. Yeah, not everybody can win 5.
well, you know, he's the one that called me out to come back.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
He was 3-3, and he said, "Hey, Parks, come back. You know, we gotta change it." So, but
Yeah,
I've had fun regardless. But
that's great. I'm glad to see you in it. We've had the discussion a few times here. You know, people commenting about,
Yeah.
he ought to be a pro. He can't play, and we've explained that if you work for a living and you're not,
Yeah.
you're not playing full time pool. You're just not a professional. You
Well-
may play very close to like one, but that doesn't make you a professional.
yeah, I
And,
mean, all you have to do now is Google the last 2 matches I played, and you're pretty much gonna know I'm not a pro. So
There you go. There's your proof. So,
Yeah.
so anytime somebody asks, just say, "Hey, look at his last 2 matches."
there you go.
But I'm glad to have you here talking.
Oh, it's awesome. It might be my last year for a while, but
Really?
yeah. I mean, just I love my family. Everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a game changer.
Yeah. Why do you think he missed that shot, Brian?
Oh, I thought it was Mark. Looked like he just stuffed it. Like he jumped up a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah.
I've seen that a couple of times with him, and I saw one time where he takes a long time when he's over the shot anyway, but one time he took, on a fairly simple shot, he took a little bit longer than normal, and I could see that his elbow actually moved out of line from where it was, and then he shot
Yeah.
and missed it. So,
Yeah. Shane Van Boning kind of does that. But
he rocks that.
got that style. But,
No telling where his elbow's going.
but his head stays still the whole time.
Mhm.
You know, he never moves. But again, you gotta honestly you gotta say props to Henry.
Oh, for
I
sure.
mean, 71 years old. What he's doing.
Yeah, and I was telling everybody earlier, he's textbook too. You watch his
Yeah.
setup and all, and
He actually told me, to be honest with you, I was a little upset about it, but he purposely is stop breaking the 9-ball games
And why is that?
because he can't break right now. He's got no power.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
and I don't care. I'm fine with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, he can't hit it hard enough. So he's like, I'm just trying to put the one in the top corner or top
Side
top
pocket
of the table and put the cue ball where
Oh,
the
really?
9 is now. Yeah.
Huh.
And then he works through the rack. He just
Yeah,
does
he's-
everything right.
Yeah, he's a mechanic on it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he played Mika Eminem, and Mika had said the same thing. He's just an old school pool player
Yeah.
and plays great.
He is. What I said earlier is he looks like the textbook pictures in the Willie Moscone book that I checked out of the library when I first started playing
Yeah.
pool.
Exactly.
Um,
And he's super nice too. He's always just a gentleman. So
yes, he is. And he's about to pocket this 9 to make it 3-5.
yeah, that was a big miss by Mike.
See that head stayed.
Oh,
His head stayed down, but missed the shot.
he gave it away.
So that'll put
So
Mike
that's a-
on the heel.
Very big swing.
Yes, sir. I guess I gave him the commentator's curse by saying the score before he made the shot. My fault, Henry.
Yeah. So
What'd you say?
Did you jinx him?
Yeah, I did jinx
You jinxed him?
he did the commentary jinx.
I jinxed Henry. I'm sorry about that. I said what the score was going to be. You know, it was about to be, and then he missed the shot. I'm going to blame it on Brian, though, for throwing me off in
Yeah.
the booth here.
Well, like I said, I know Mike for years here, coming here, and he's been nothing
Yeah.
but a great guy, having
Mhm.
fun all the time. His buddy comes out with him all the time just to watch, all the way from Canada.
All the way
So,
from Canada, eh?
yeah, just to watch. Hey, yeah. But
If you want to get the
I'm-
other view, you can hit the space bar there. We've got this view and then the side view.
I'm definitely happy for Mike as far as he's made it, because he's supports this, comes out every year.
Yeah.
So, and the guy in the hot seat right now, I mean, what do you say? Okay, he's playing good.
Yeah, he's playing really great. Starts
Yeah.
off like a train, slow, but then he gets to going and he
Yeah.
runs over people.
Yep. I would actually honestly say, like, I don't say to ever do it very often, but to start with 9-ball with him might be an okay idea, because he starts slow.
Oh, yeah.
So you can get a couple games out of the way and maybe,
Yeah, and then
get there. But
Yep.
look out whenever he gets breaking good, though. He breaks real well.
yeah, he plays really smart for his age.
Yeah.
What I think. I mean, that's
How old is he?
20. Let's see, what was it? Oh, here it is.
He looks. I mean, he's young, but
26. He's older than I
Okay,
thought, but
okay.
he's 26.
yeah. My last experience with him, I believe, was one of the bar box.
He's been playing 22 years though. That's why
Jeez.
he can play. He plays so smart.
The APA singles. I played him.
Yeah.
And
Did you?
again, he plays super fast. Well, I believe I started out with. No, he started out with 55-0. And he messed up, and then I put 55 on him.
And
then-
going to what? 70?
75.
5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I believe he ended up beating me 75 to like 72 or something.
Yeah, really close. Wow.
But
Now, do you try to hold this and play hold it and play the 5 into the corner?
Well,
You go back and forth?
I like
or what?
holding it
Okay.
because you got to get on. You need the angle anyway.
He's playing it
Ooh,
inside
that
though.
was different, yeah.
Yeah, he's playing it inside.
You can do that too, but
yeah,
now he's treetopped over the
because
7.
he is, but yeah.
That changes things because you got to put that inside English a little.
Yes.
Well, you don't need the inside, I guess, here. Just
No, just the
tap
top
it,
will take care
just
of
tap
it
it
for him.
in, yeah.
It comes straight back over. I don't think he needed to hit it that hard.
That's perfect
Yeah.
for a righty,
But-
especially.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as good for you, would it?
No, I would be using a bridge right
Yeah.
now, but this
So
should be pretty just back
It
to the
should be,
middle
but
of the table.
I don't want to I don't want to jinx him and say he's won this match from here. But
Yeah. You can tell he knows.
yeah,
Like I said, total props to Henry Brodt, though, for even, making it this far every time. Yeah, he's been in the top 5 for, like, every year he's played.
yeah. All right. Well, that does it, man. Mike Leigh played a good match. Henry played great. He missed a couple of shots, though. Seemed like that kind of expected him to make.
I want to ask what you think. So Abe's had some time to sit, right? Here, I'll jump on. Just a couple extra minutes here with Brian. So I know you've been in this position where you won the hot seat match and then you go sit, and you've also been on the opposite where you had to continue to play, right?
Yeah.
So for Abe, who's been sitting now for the last couple hours, how would you recommend he kind of stay fresh without getting, too stale?
Like years past, I believe we weren't allowed to actually hit any balls whatsoever.
Right.
And he's been allowed to practice a little bit out back or whatever he's doing. And I think he's going to come in probably a little better than what we've seen.
Right.
Because he's loose. So prediction-wise with those two, I have
no idea.
I'm probably thinking it's going to be a war no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both play kind of fast. They
Right.
both have their own, style or whatever. But obviously, what was his name again? His first name?
Abe and
Abe.
Abe
plays,
and Mike. Yeah.
Abe plays
Super fast,
Oh
too.
yeah, he plays super fast. But if he's in gear, you're in trouble. You gotta hope that he's just not breaking good or the rolls are going against you type
Right.
thing. So, but
with Mike sending him or with Abe sending Mike to the losers bracket and having to go back through, do you think there's any advantage there to Mike having just played that extra match?
Yes.
I guess is kind of what I was
Because
trying
it's
to
a
get
single race to 11, so the guy sitting in the hot seat doesn't have to be the guy that I know. Like mentally, you're like, wow, yeah, he's already beaten him, blah blah blah. But Abe's been sitting out, so Mike is ready,
at. Right.
stroked and up and ready. He's ready to play. So Abe, but has got to practice. This is not years past. Normally you're not allowed to practice. So.
Right.
And that's one of the hard parts about this tournament people don't get. I love it. I think it's the greatest thing ever because you come with what you got.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, Abe is capable.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
taking Abe in the finals? I don't want to put you on the spot. If you don't want to pick, you don't
No,
want to pick.
I wouldn't pick either one of them
Okay.
actually because they're both great. But
All right.
if I had to pick, you got to go with a hot seat guy.
Going with the hot seat guy. There you have it, folks.
But
5-time
not
champion
because
Brian
not
Parks.
because Mike that I don't love you, but yeah, still.
He's taking Abe in the finals, folks. So we'll be back in just a little bit with the final round. Brian, thanks for stopping by, buddy.
got it. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations to you, man. You're a consummate sportsman.
Thank you.
4th place finish in this year's event is no joke, especially when
Thank you.
everybody's gunning for you, brother. So
Yeah.
we're happy you're here and appreciate you sitting in the
I
strength
won't
with
be
us.
back for a while, but I'll wait.
I'm
Somebody
sure-
catches me, I'll be back.
I'm sure we'll see you around. All right, folks. Signing off for now. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the final round. Stay tuned.